Hi everyone, my name is Zoe Williams and I'm the Youth Services Librarian here at University Park Public Library. And today is Read Across America Day. It's a day where we celebrate the joy of sharing stories and reading books together. So I wanted to take the opportunity to share a book with you all. This book is called Zen Shorts and it's by Jon J. Muth. So I would love to read it to you to celebrate Read Across America Day. Michael, there's a bear outside, said Carl. A what? Called Michael. A bear. He's really big and he's in the backyard. What's he doing? Michael asked. He's sitting and he has an umbrella, said Carl. An umbrella, said Michael. Do you see him looking out the window? You think he sees him? By the time the boys got outside, their sister Addie was already there. I'm sorry for arriving unannounced, said the bear. The wind carried my umbrella all the way from my backyard to your backyard, and I thought I would retrieve it before it became a nuisance. A nuisance is kind of a big word for saying it might be bothering someone if it was in their backyard. He spoke with a slight panda accent. Michael introduced himself. Then Addie introduced Carl because Carl was shy around bears he didn't know. Do you think you would be shy around this panda who just showed up in your backyard? And this is how Addie, Michael, and Carl met Stillwater. Here's Stillwater the panda. The next day, Addie went to have tea with Stillwater up on the mountain. Hello, Addie said as she stepped inside. See, she's in his house. Come in, a faraway voice called. Then she heard the voice say, oh yes, come out, come out. Stillwater was in the backyard. He must like backyards. And he was in a tent. Do you see that yellow tent? He's inside. This is a birthday present from my Uncle Rye, Stillwater said. He always gives presents on his birthday to celebrate the day he was born. I like it so much that I'm not staying in my house right now. Stillwater invited Addie to sit with him. If you had a tent in your backyard, it'd probably be hard to stay in your house, right? It just looks so fun. They're inside the tent. You brought me some cake, said Stillwater. That was very nice of you. Is it your birthday? He said. No, said Addie. It's not mine either, said Stillwater, but let me give you a gift for my uncle's birthday. I will tell you a story. This story is called Uncle Rye and the Moon. My Uncle Rye lived alone in a small house up in the hills. He didn't own many things. He lived a simple life. One evening, he discovered he had a visitor. A robber had broken into the house and was rummaging through my uncle's few belongings. The robber didn't notice Uncle Rye, and when my uncle said, hello, the robber was so startled he almost fell down. Do you see who the robber is? It's a raccoon. My uncle smiled at the robber and shook his hand. Welcome, welcome. How nice of you to visit. The robber opened his mouth to speak, but he couldn't think of anything to say. Because Rye never lets anyone leave empty-handed, he looked around the tiny hut for a gift for the robber. But there was nothing to give. The robber began to back away toward the door. He wanted to leave. At last, Uncle Rye knew what to do. He took off his only robe, which was old and tattered. Here, he said, please take this. The robber thought my uncle was crazy, but he took the robe, dashed out the door, and escaped into the night. My uncle sat and looked at the moon, its silvery light spilling over the mountains, making all things quietly beautiful. Poor man, lamented my uncle. All I had to give him was my tattered robe. If only I could have given him this wonderful moon. Your uncle sounds really nice, said Addie. I don't think I could have given away my only robe. I know how that is, said Stillwater, but there's always the moon. That was a good story, said Addie. Thank you, said Stillwater, and this is good cake. Thanks, said Addie. I made it myself. See the panda? They like bamboo, don't they? The next day, Michael went to see Stillwater. Here I am, Stillwater called from the tree. Can I come up? Asked Michael. If you're very careful, said Stillwater. What if we could fly, said Michael. You see them flying paper airplanes? We could cast shadows on clouds, said Stillwater. But what if we fell, said Michael. If we fell, we might break something. That would be bad, said Michael. Maybe. Maybe? Asked Michael. This is a story called The Farmer's Luck that Stillwater shares. There was once a farmer who worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. Such bad luck, they said. Maybe, the farmer replied. The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 2 other wild horses. Such good luck, said the neighbors. Maybe, replied the farmer. The following day his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown off, and broke his leg. Again the neighbors came to offer their sympathy. Such bad luck, they said. Maybe, said the farmer. The day after that, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army to fight in a war. Seeing that his son's leg was broken, they passed him by. That was such good luck, said the neighbors. Maybe, said the farmer. I get it, said Michael. Maybe good luck and bad luck are all mixed up. You never know what will happen next. Yes, Stillwater agreed. You just never know. It's like a cozy place to sit, doesn't it, on the panda's tummy? The day after that, Carl went to visit Stillwater. Michael said I couldn't bring over our stuff to go swimming. I'm mad at Michael. He's always telling me what to do, so I brought everything. See all of his pool toys? Said Stillwater. It's a little pool. I don't know if all those things will fit. Let's see, said Carl. Stillwater looked at the pool. Does it all fit? Barely. The things can go swimming, but we can't, said Stillwater. I brought too much stuff, said Carl. That's okay, said Stillwater. I'll help you carry it home later. Why does Michael always have to tell me what to do? Carl said. If he were here, I would climb up really high and I would jump on him like this, and then I'd make a big splash, like that. Later, Carl and Stillwater had tea together. Carl, said Stillwater, you spent the whole day being angry with Michael. Did you notice how much fun we had together? Carl watched the steam rise from his cup. I'm sorry I brought all this stuff, said Carl. You don't need to be sorry, said Stillwater. Right now you need to carry. Hold on tight while I tell you a story. This is called A Heavy Load. 2 traveling monks reached a town where there was a young woman waiting to step out of her chair. The rains had made deep puddles and she couldn't step across without spoiling her robes. She stood there looking very cross, angry, and impatient. She was scolding her attendants. They had nowhere to place the packages they held for her, so they couldn't help her across the puddle. The younger monk noticed the woman, said nothing, and walked by. The older monk quickly picked her up and put her on his back, transported her across the water, and put her down on the other side. She didn't say thank you. She just shoved him away and left. As they went on their way, the young monk was brooding and preoccupied. After several hours, unable to stay silent, he spoke out. That woman back there was very selfish and very rude. But you picked her up on your back and carried her. Then she didn't even say thank you. I set the woman down hours ago, the older monk replied. Why are you still carrying her? Do you think you have carried it long enough? Asked Stillwater. Yes, said Carl. Good, said Stillwater. And this is how Addie, Michael, Carl, and Stillwater all became friends. The end. Well, everyone, thank you so much for sharing that story, or really, there are multiple stories, today with me. I hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you around the library soon. Bye.